Today, South Carolina's math and history, and we are going to be dividing the radicals. So, we haven't learned how to add, subtract, multiply, and simplify. Now, we are going to divide the radicals. Let's start when trying to solve the problem. The square root of 27. Divide that by 3. How will we simplify it? Well, the main goal of simplifying radicals and dividing them is by trying to get them to the most simplest form they can. 27, on the hand, is not really the most simplified perfect square. Here's an example. 27, we can pull out 3 and 9. Since 9 is another square root, the square root of 9, the square root of 3, we can turn that into a 3. So now we have 3 times square root of 3 divided by 3. Now we have one more thing we gotta do until it's simplified. Since we have 3 divided by 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1, we can cross that out. Now we have an answer of the square root of 3. So that is one example how we can divide the radical. What happens if we divide the radical again, but this time we have a number being multiplied in front of the radical? Okay, so here's our second scenario. When we have a multiplier right in front of the radical. Let's see what happens when we try to simplify this. So the square root of 18 can be used to pull out the numbers 2 and 9, which we can make them a square root as well. Because 2 times 9 equals 18. Since 9 is a perfect square, we circle it and transform it into a 3. To make it more simpler, we move the 3 and multiply it into a 6. So now we have 18 to the square root of 2, because we haven't used that, divide by 9. 18 times square root of 2 divided by 9, that is our final answer. But the reason why we don't do 18 divided by 9 is they're not the same value, they're not the same number. With the other example, we could do that, because we had a 3 divided by a 3. But in this case scenario, when we do that, it will make our answer incorrect. Let's look at one more example, and there's a formula that we can use to help us understand it and apply it to much harder math. Okay, so here's the last problem of the day. We have the square root of 12 divided by the square root of 6. Well, the first thing you might be thinking is, can we just pull out 2 numbers that will help us get to a perfect number to make a coefficient? Well, that would create much more hard work. And in math, you try to make things the most simplest and easy as possible. That's what many mathematicians try to do. So in this case scenario, we can do 12 divided by 6 to make the square root of 2. Because the rule that we were talking about earlier in the video that we're going to introduce is actually going to make the math easier than you think. Because when you have a number, divide that by another square root of that number, that's the same thing as saying the first number divided by the second number with a giant square root. So, the square root of 12 divided by the square root of 6 is the exact same thing as saying the square root of 12 divided by 6. When you do that, you get the square root of 2. So when you see these kind of problems, you might want to memorize this formula to help you along the way. And that is how we can divide the radicals. I hope this video has helped you. Thank you for watching Talping Airlines Math Industry. Like and subscribe. And our next video is how to rationalize the radicals. Have a nice day.